Tiwanaku is an important pre-Columbian archaeological site in western Bolivia. The ruins of the ancient city-state are near the southeastern shore of Lake Titicaca, about 44 miles west of La Paz. The site, first recorded in written history by Spanish conquistador Pedro Ceza de Leon, stumbled upon the remains of Tiwanaku in 1549 while searching for the Inca capital Coliseu. Some have hypothesized that Tiwanaku's modern name is related to the Aymaran term Taipiquala, meaning stone in the center, alluding to the belief that it lay at the center of the world. However, the name by which Tiwanaku was known to its inhabitants may have been lost, as people of Tiwanaku had no written language.
It is believed that the area around Tiwanaku may have been inhabited as early as 1500 BC as a small agriculturally based village, but official records date the settlement as being inhabited as of 300 AD. The main city center developed into a bustling community constructed of many terraced platform pyramids, courtyards, and urban centers dispersed just over 2 square miles.
The Titicaca Basin is the most productive environment in the area, with predictable and abundant rainfall, which the Tiwanaku culture learned to harness and use in their farming. The high-altitude Titicaca Basin required the development of a distinctive farming technique known as flood-raised field agriculture. Artificially raised planting mounds are separated by shallow canals filled with water. The canals supply moisture for growing crops, but they also absorb heat from the solar radiation during the day. The heat is gradually emitted during the bitterly cold nights that often produce frost. Over time, the canals were used to farm edible fish, and resulting canal sludge was dredged for fertilizer. While traditional agriculture in the region typically yields 2.4 metric tons of potatoes per hectare, and modern agriculture with artificial fertilizers and pesticides yields about 14.5 metric tons per hectare.
Tiwanaku architecture is characterized by large stones of exceptional workmanship. Tiwanaku's stone architecture usually has rectangular, ashlar blocks laid in regular courses. The main architectural appeal of the site comes from the carved images and designs on some of these blocks, carved doorways, and giant stone monoliths. The quarries where some of the stone blocks used in the construction of Tiwanaku come from about 10 kilometers away, a remarkable distance considering that the largest of these stone weigh 131 metric tons. Many gateways show iconic images of staff gods that also spread to some oversized vessels, indicating an importance to the culture. This iconic imagery is most present on the Gateway of the Sun, pictured here.
With no written history, modern local people know little about the ancient city. An archaeological-based theory asserts that around AD 400, Tiwanaku went from being a locally dominant force to a predatory state. Tiwanaku expanded its reaches into the Yungas and brought its culture and way of life to many other cultures in Peru, Bolivia, and Chile. Tiwanaku was not exclusively a violent culture. In order to expand its reach, Tiwanaku used politics to create colonies and negotiate trade agreements. Many others were drawn into the Tiwanaku Empire due to the belief that the city was a religious center.
Nearby, Mount Illimani is known to be where most of their ancient religious ceremonies took place and is said to be the closest proximity to their god. Due to the lack of a written language, what is known of their religious beliefs are based on archaeological interpretation and some myths, which may have been passed down to the Incas and the Spanish. They seem to have worshipped many gods, perhaps centered around agriculture. Other evidence, however, points to a system of ancestral worship. The preservation, use, and reconfiguration of mummy bundles and skeletal remains, like the later Incas, may suggest that this is the case.